Well, I've gone and bought myself some new gloves. They're called Trik-Moto and they're fairly cheap, about 20 quid from Sports Bike Shop, and they're meant to be vented, and they are. Is that Bonnie? Where's she going in opposite direction then for? Oh, that was one of my CMA friends with her husband leading on his S1000RR. She's going in the wrong direction for the CMA meet that we're doing. It's meant to be this direction. Anyway, I was talking about my new gloves, and yeah, only 20 quid from Sports Bike Shop, and they've all got vents in the fingers and on the tops of the hands, and you can feel the airflow coming through. It's going to be thick old leather on the palms of your hands, obviously, because that's not going to be thin and vented, because that's what's going to impact the road if you go down. Because instinctively what you end up doing is straight away putting your hand out to brace yourself as you go down. So you're going to need a good amount of padding still on the palms of your hands and on your fingertips, so that they don't get sandpapered away on the road. So you're never going to get over that, but having vented bits on the top and on the top of the palms and down the sides of the fingers, so that you can feel the airflow, at least keeps your hands and your fingers a bit cooler on a hot day. It's not going to be probably as hot today, because it's quite cloudy at the moment. Glorious blue sunshine yesterday. It's Saturday anyway by today. I cleaned and lubed my chain up the other day, and took the old sprocket cover off again, absolutely filthy, and my front sprocket nut was a little wiggly loose again, which is a little bit worrying. When I took it off and tightened it last time and that, all the thread on the main output shaft and that was perfectly fine, so that's not the issue. I think what the issue is the actual nut. So I've gone and bought a new nut, and also a new locking washer as well to replace. So if any of you guys, when you check your chain and sprocket and all this business, and that if your nut keeps coming loose and a little bit wiggly, change the nut, because what probably happens is the thread on the nut becomes a little bit worn out, probably by vibrations and stuff like that, even though you've got that locking washer on that's meant to keep it solid. It probably doesn't keep it that solid, and the difference between being fully torqued up and just coming a little bit loose is probably not that much of a turn on it, and the amount of strain and pressure and vibration that goes on down there is probably enough to eventually just keep wiggling away at the old nut. And again, the old chain pulling at it as well is going to make things wiggle about down there, and eventually things are going to get water penetrating into grooves and onto the thread there, and start wearing it out. And as I say, components like that do need replacing. So that's what I'm going to do on that. I'm going to put a brand new nut on, brand new locking washer on, and hopefully it should not come wiggly loose again. I have been checking it ever so oft, and it stayed tight. But yeah, just recently now, this time I've checked it, it's just fractionally loose. So I'm going to replace that old nut. Another thing I've done, when giving my chain a good old clean and scrub and re-lubing it back up again, I've gone and bought one of these chain monkeys, which is a tool that you can use to help tighten your chain and get it at the right tension. And it's got like this bolt on it and a head of a bolt on the top, and you set it to these marks. They're numbered from like 0, 1, 2 up to 5 I think on it, and you set it to what your tension is and what your chain is on your bike, and slap it on your chain, tighten this nut up to that mark, and then tighten your chain up really tight so there is no slack whatsoever in the chain, and then take the tool off, and it's meant to be at the perfect chain tension. And I was a little bit skeptical at first about this, hello geezer, and yeah, saying a bit skeptical about it at first, thinking, oh yeah, right. But used it yesterday, tightened my chain up, and it perfect chain tension. So it's a really good tool, and it saves a lot of hassle of trying to adjust your chain tension, checking the measurements again and the slackness on your chain, and then having to readjust it a bit again because you made it a bit too slack or a bit too tight. It takes all of that hassle out of it, that you just fit this thing on, tighten it up real tight, your chain, undo the thing, boom, Bob's your uncle, it's done. Perfect tension every time. So it's going to be definitely a useful piece of kit, and I think it was only about like 20 odd quid, so it's not that expensive a little tool. And to what some tools are, you get some tools, you get like a like a socket, don't you, for your wrench, socket wrench, and they're flipping, like, some of them are like 30-40 quid for just one socket. It's like, you're having a laugh, ain't you? But yeah, it's a good price, definitely something to have in your toolkit for your bike maintenance. Saves you a lot of time, so get one, I say. I give it a big thumbs up to the Chain Monkey. Highly recommended. And by the way, they didn't send me one free. No one's going to send me anything free with only 200 odd subs, so you know that if I do say something's good, it's going to be tested by me, and it's going to be good. Because if I buy something and it's a whole pile of rubbish, I am going to say it is a whole pile of rubbish. But the Chain Monkey has definitely got a huge thumbs up. Because with the right tension on your chain, gear changing, all feel of your bike, perfect. Feels so much better once you've got your chain done at the right tension. And a lot of people neglect it. A lot of people neglect your chain. And I was watching a video from Moonfleet, is it? Oh, you know who he is. Does a lot of videos on maintenance of bikes. You know who I'm talking about. I'll flash his name up. Anyway, I was watching a video of his, and he was mentioning about having a look at your front sprocket to make sure that's not worn out. And the teeth on it, because if it does, and it creates an element of slack between the teeth of the front sprocket and those rollers on your chain, it can cause damage to your chain and this so-called stretching of your chain. So it's going to prematurely age your chain. So, you know, front sprockets, even if you just change a front sprocket, again, it's only like, you know, 20 odd quid, isn't it, for a front sprocket? Incredibly cheap item to go buy for your bike, and can save you from chain damage. And I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there to show chains breaking and the potential hazards of chains breaking. I would never like my chain ever to break, and I wouldn't want any of you out there to have a chain break. Because even like what he said don't even Google it about it. It can be nasty. Well, I'm going to be fashionably late today, aren't I? Makes a change. I'm usually there, first one there, so I can just casually turn up today. I'm yabbing on too much in this. I'm going to leave this part of the vlog, and I'll probably do this Haybridge thing in a separate video, because I don't like videos that go on too long, so I'll cut this one short and say toodle pip and see you in the next vlog. Bye bye.